Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Grassroots Racing Show, brought to you by these fine sponsors. The Kansas Auto Racing Museum at Chapman, Kansas, because today's stars are tomorrow's legends. Belleville Motorsports, providing safe, fast, and affordable race cars for national champions and feature winners all across America. Advanced Engine and Machine of Salina, a full-service racing shop providing complete engines, parts, and services for winners. Stay with us. We'll be back after these important commercial messages.
Hi, I'm Doug Thompson on behalf of the Kansas Auto Racing Museum in Chapman. There's a lot to see at the 15-acre racing complex. Did you know the first NHRA event was held in Great Bend in 1955? We have the original film footage, original correspondence between Sunflower Club for Great Bend and the NHRA. We even have the first NHRA trophy. Come visit us Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and be sure to bring the family. Relive racing memories of the past. Experience a celebration of speed that continues in racing today at the Kansas Auto Racing Museum.
Viper Tool Storage is the world's oldest and leading manufacturer of high-quality, innovative stainless steel tool storage products.
Viper products are designed and made to last a lifetime. The craftsmanship and attention to detail is unsurpassed.
Start building your dream garage with Viper products. You're making a lifetime investment
In quality
and durability.
Contact Viper Tool Storage today. You'll be glad you did. Welcome to the fifth season of the Grassroots Racing Show. I'm Doug Thompson with co-host Roger Thompson. The premise of the show is very simple. We send an excellent film crew out to cover racetracks and get us the best film footage we can for the Grassroots Racing Show. During the off-season, Roger, we send Mike Kraft, our award-winning field reporter, to a trade show.
Just love those trade shows, don't you?
Well, some of them are fun, some of them aren't so good, but there's always something to be gained from it. And when we raced a lot, we used to go to the shows because you could always exchange of knowledge. You could talk to the race car chassis builders.
And you can lie with the old racers, that are
right.
walking around.
Yeah,
I mean, all tell lies. This was a particularly good show. It was put on by Greg Dethridge, and Greg really knows how to do a show, and Mike interviewed a lot of really interesting people, and I think you're going to like it.
Oh, I think so. The field reports included, of course, Derek Klima, Greg Dethridge, and he ended with C. Ray Hall. Stay tuned, you're going to see it for yourself.
Well, welcome everybody, and we are at the 28th Annual Kansas Racers Auction and Trade Show, and we are here at the Century 2 Convention Center. Greg Dethridge, and you guys are out of Texas, and you put on a bunch of these, it sounds like.
We do 4 a year, and this one is in its 28th year. We moved over here 3 years ago from another convention center over here in Wichita, Kansas, and we moved over here because it's more climate control and it's a lot nicer building. So then next weekend we'll go to Oklahoma City to our next show. So
it has to be a lot to put one of these together.
it takes a lot to put it on. In the months prior, we start working on them pretty hard in about August. We also have an indoor winter kart series that we do. We have 5 of those, so we stay busy in the winter time, so we enjoy it. You see a lot of familiar faces. A lot of racers are here today, a lot of track champions, a lot of fun around here. A lot of racetracks are here, a lot of people here, so glad to have you. I've watched you before, and I'm glad y'all finally made the trip.
Well, we started last year. I think we went out to Hayes for one. And it's just an opportunity during the winter, like you say, to get to see a lot of familiar faces, racers, promoters, and stuff like that.
I had a gentleman just tell me it's like going to a reunion, because he said it's old racers got nothing to do in the wintertime, so they come out and they want to visit and swap stories. And the older they get, the more races they won, and so kind of like the fisherman's tale. So.
Well, Greg, I appreciate you having us in here, and like I say, we're looking forward to it. Boy, this looks like a big deal. I haven't been inside yet, but man, this place looks huge, and a lot of good stuff to see. Well, Bob, it looks like we've kind of got ourselves together here again. Saw you out in Hayes last year and down here in your hometown. Bobby Bills of Bills Built Race Cars, and I remembered this year. Last year I was doing one of them numbers, but have a good year last year?
Yeah, we sure did. Got a couple championships, won a lot of races. Cars did really well.
Looking forward to this year, I'm sure. I saw you, I think, in a couple of places racing personally. How did you do? Were you out there making it or just selling some cars?
I was doing all right.
I can't remember whether it was Salina or where, but I know we crossed paths somewhere. But what about the car this year? Is it going to be anything new? I mean, I know I always ask that, and I'm thinking, well, there's going to be some revolutionary development out there, but anything new on the Bills Built this year?
Yeah, we've went in and completely redesigned the front end on these cars. We've got them working really well for next year. And we did a little bit to the back end, not a lot, but we focused a lot on the front end. And it's working good.
Now, when you go into this new technology, is this feedback from the guys that drive these cars, or is this something that you think up yourself, or how does that work?
Well, it's kind of conglomerate of both. We come up with an idea. We put it on a few cars. The guys go out and try them, test them. Like Brendan Gimmel, he was towards the end of the year. We were testing this front end setup with him. And it worked really well, and tweaked it and put it into production.
So there's a little R&D behind it. It's just not, hey, we're going to throw this at the car and see what happens. You actually get out there and try it.
No, there's a lot of R&D.
One of the other things I think about these race cars that gets me is how much technical support these guys can get, because it seems like sometimes a lot of them that I hear from is, well, we don't get no additional information on the setup. But you guys are pretty good about that?
Yeah, we're even during racing season, like when I'm racing on a Saturday night, my cell phone is sitting on my bench in my trailer, and I'm constantly walking in, checking text messages, phone calls, and trying to keeping, if people got questions, I answer them. Even when I'm racing, I'm still taking care of them.
Not 24-hour service, but
well, I don't know about that. I've had some phone calls late at night.
Bills Built Race Cars here out of Wichita. Bobby, thanks a lot for talking to us, and look forward to seeing you down the road somewhere.
All right, thank you.
I'm Pat Neal. Thanks for tuning in to watch this edition of Grassroots Racing.
Hi, I'm Roger Thompson of the Grassroots Racing Program. If you're building a race engine, you need high-quality precision machine work from people knowledgeable in their field. You need the work done on time and at fair and competitive prices. You need racing parts when you need them, and a company that will be there for you. I highly recommend Mark Brown at Advanced Engine and Machine in Salina for all your racing parts and machine work. That's Advanced Engine and Machine in Salina.
Need a rock-solid building at a rock-bottom price? Sentinel Buildings is your answer. Sentinel's all-steel buildings are custom designed to your exact needs, engineered with the highest quality materials and workmanship, and backed by Sentinel's promise of ongoing hassle-free service and support. Whether for agriculture use, commercial, or storage, you'll live with your building for years. Get it right the first time. Contact your local Sentinel dealer or call Sentinel Building Systems today. Sentinel Buildings, rock solid.
Ken Petro, and you're watching the Grassroots Racing Show on my favorite network.
Well, we've caught up with Phoenix Race Car Chassis here, and we got Neil Adams. Neil out of, Nevada, Missouri. How did this season go for you guys this year?
It went pretty good. We had a lot of cars in Texas running IMCA and did really good. We had a guy sitting number 2 in the nation for a long time, and then he had to quit racing for a little bit, but we still had 2 guys in the top 20 in the nation, IMCA. A lot of local guys doing really good. Andy Bryant, top 10 in B-Mods, USRA in the nation. Just a lot of progress, a lot of hard work, and great company to be with. And, as far as customer-wise, we do anything we can to make it work for them.
I was going to say this race car deal, man, it's just a continuing process. It seems like every 6 months something changes and there's some new idea or something that comes on the market. Man, that's got to be difficult to keep up with.
Yes, it does. We got good guys at the shop. We strive to keep our chassis, in the front and do anything we can to make them better. just we're always striving to get that extra speed out of the car.
I was going to say, you must be getting a lot of good feedback, because it's kind of a two-way street. It's a racer chassis guy deal. You guys kind of be trading information all the time. I presume, you know, you've got a pretty good team of guys doing that. I see this particular car here that we haven't really looked at, but Scotty Bowe on there. I know I've seen him, I don't know how many places this year. Humboldt, I don't know, everywhere.
Yeah, that's Scotty's actually the company owner's son also, but we got, you know, we share information with all of our drivers. We're in the business to make all of our drivers fast, so you know, tech help, we're just a phone call away all the time.
I was going to say, that's the other important thing, is having the know-how, and if you got a problem, trying to call somebody and get it worked out. And that 24-hour line for you guys?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Neil, all I can say is the kind of new guys on the block, and I've seen them do. I get around quite a bit, but boy, I've seen the Phoenix cars doing pretty good this year. I've seen them up in the front.
Yep, we've got a lot of knowledge at the shop. We've got Gary Clark that used to run Dirt Works. He works for us at the shop. Got Jeff Dowdy fabricating, been around racing forever, and so, you know, we got a lot of knowledge behind the scene.
You got it. Let's get into Phoenix. Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Okay. We've got Stacy Sipe here, if I pronounced that correctly, and he's from Belleville Motorsports. And Stacy, boy, a name that's been around this part of the country for quite a while and really synonymous with IMCA. Still at it this year again.
Yeah, we've been building quite a few cars, and we got quite a few on order, and seems like we're busier than we ever have been.
Boy, I'll tell you what, just overlooking at some of those awards, and you guys have been the chassis manufacturer or top, I don't know exactly how to call that, but anyway, for it looks like about 4 or 5 years for IMCA.
Yeah, the last 5 out of the last 6 years we've been the IMCA National Chassis Manufacturer of the Year, and we've seemed to come out with the Eastern Region award for the last few years, and we've got a lot of good cars out there and a lot of good customers, and we hope they keep coming back.
And I see Belleville Motorsports chassis won the what was it, the Sunflower at Hayes?
Yeah, the Sunflower Classic at the beginning of the 2014 race season. David Murray Jr. and his Belleville car won the A mods, and Tyler Fry and his BMS Sport mod won the Sport mods.
Man, that's a good one to pull down there. They got some tough racing going on out there at Hayes. The racing out there in that part of the country just gets tougher and tougher. And boy, that IMCA, of course, is it's tough to win in that deal because there's so many good cars and drivers. But anything new we need to know about BMS for the upcoming year?
Oh, we've just made a few changes, and hopefully they seem to be working out pretty good. So, well, I think we got a pretty good car for this year, and I hope we have pretty good success.
Anyway, like I say, lots of luck to you guys out there. I don't think you guys need luck. You've got such a good product, and man, it's been successful over the years, so I know you'll do good. Thanks a lot, Bud.
Thank you.
Well, Jason Weber, we've got a car here I don't believe I've ever heard of. It doesn't mean that they're not good or anything like that. It's just that I've never heard of them, but Western Flyer. Where are you guys out of, Jason?
Western Flyers are built in Oklahoma City by Curtis Allen. And we run these cars here at Longdale Speedway and Outlaw Motor Speedway. They're Southern Sport Mod.
Yeah. That's primarily, they're not A mods, just Southern Sport Mod, and that's it?
Yes, they're Southern Sport Mods, what they're called. And they're on a stock 4-link suspension, metric frame cars. Okay. And they're an IMCA sanctioned class.
All right, maybe that's why I haven't heard about them then, because I don't see them in the A mod class or the B mod class. As this car sets, and of course I haven't got a picture of it, I might try and do that, but what would somebody have to pay for this as it sets here right now?
I think you can get a rolling chassis for around $14,000 for a roller.
About 14, and then you're ready to go. Man, it's always good to see something new on the market. How long you guys been in business?
I don't build these cars, we just race them. Curtis has been building them now about 5-6 years, I think. And he does a good job on them. They go real good.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Well, I appreciate you talking to us, buddy. I hope the year goes good this year. And they sell a lot of race cars. You guys have a lot of fun down there. We don't get down to Oklahoma very much, but maybe one of these years we'll make it down there. I've heard of that Outlaw Speedway before, but just haven't got down there yet. But anyway, thanks a lot, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, we've got Derek Klima here with me, and you're selling these GRTs. Kind of had a rich history in motorsports before with chassis and stuff. So this year you're changing up and going with the GRT.
Yeah, I've been in the race car industry for several years, and I owned a race car company for about 18 years, and I sold it about 3 years ago. And I had some customers that come along that was wanting me to be in the middle of helping them pick out and bolt together new cars. And I looked around and studied who was doing what. And, you know, the GRT stuff's been pretty good in our area for a while. They don't have a whole lot. Most of my customers are IMCA, and they don't have a whole lot of IMCA cars out there. They do a lot of open stuff, you know, UMP and NCRA and USMTS. And so anyway, I got a hold of GRT, and they got me set up to sell their cars. So, and I have sold quite a few here for them already. I buy them with frames powder coated with bodies and interiors, and bring them home and put my choice of parts on them and make them roll. And, you know, I got special things we like to do to them, and put the combination of parts together that I think works the best for them.
Not giving away any secrets, but how much do you have to change to take the car from an open car to a IMCA or vice versa?
Well, we bought these as cars for IMCA, so they're IMCA legal stuff, but you know, there's not as many differences between an open car and an IMCA car anymore. IMCA, you used to not be able to run like quick change rear ends and stuff, and now they're legal in these cars. So there's not a lot of differences on what we actually do to the chassis or the parts that get bolted on them that dictate whether it's an open car or not. Generally, that is done by the customer as far as their choice of maybe motors and stuff like that, and wheels and tires. But pretty much they are all IMCA allows pretty much what all the other guys are doing now.
If you prepared a car, let's say IMCA, what would be the price? I mean, like you were saying, it's kind of dictated by what the customer wants to some degree, but what basic price?
Well, they start with a frame powder coated with body and interior, and you get about $7,600 in them, and then it's pretty much straightforward through then. And there's lots of options along the way. Of course, you know, you can put a $300 seat in it or a $2,000 seat in it. You can put a $60 shock on it or a $360 shock. But for the cars that I'm putting together, for the parts that I like to recommend, with wheels and tires and shocks and springs and radiator and fuel line, and basically the customer would put their motor, tranny, drive shaft, and rear end gear in it. You know, it's around $20,000. Yeah,
it's worth it.
So they're nice cars. The workmanship's awesome on them. They've been really great to work with.
All I can say is that I can't think of a single track that I went to this year that a GRT didn't win at one time or another.
Stay with us. We'll be back after these important commercial messages.
Hi, I'm Doug Thompson of the Grassroots Racing Show. There's a lot of racing action across this country in any given week, from NASCAR to the local track. I stay informed by getting my information from Circle Track Racing Magazine. Every month I receive racing information from across the nation, as well as articles explaining the latest in racing technology advancement. Circle Track, the #1 source for advanced racing technology. Why don't you join me as a subscriber to Circle Track? The information is on the screen.
Corrosive materials like oil, antifreeze, and salt can severely damage your concrete garage floors. That's why American Garage Floor is proud to offer such a large selection of garage flooring products. Durable PVC vinyl parking mats and garage flooring tile extend the life of your garage floors by protecting it. American Garage Floors, America's leading producer of parking mats and garage floor tiles.
Caught up with Jay Neal here of BSB Shocks, and Jay, man, I can't think of anything that's probably more important nowadays on a car than the shock package. I'm sure you agree with that.
That is correct. The shocks have really taken off in this market and become very important to the car, really a crucial part of the car, and it's tough today because there's a lot going on there that racers don't really need to fully understand. But they need to understand a few things, and they need to know what to ask their shot guys. There's a lot of shot guys out there nowadays and guys need to ask the right questions, you know. So I feel like we sell one of the best shock brands out there, but there's other companies out there, and if guys need help, we're willing to help them too, you know. So the door's always open. If you got shock questions, you know, we're always, feel free to, you know, let us know.
The way these racers, especially here in the Midwest nowadays, I think they have kind of a difficult year because we start out usually in the spring, first few months, it's really wet, tacky tracks. Go on through the summer, get into August, it's just so dry and slick. Man, the shock package, it has to be a deal that works in several different situations.
This is correct. When we build shocks, we try to do a little different than what everybody else does. So we try to build a shock that has a sizable amount of bleed in it. And by allowing that bleed in the shock, we can run in both moisture and slick. Now, we don't reduce the amount of rebound, but we add more bleed. Where most companies will reduce the rebound or the bleed to create the rebound. So we have a shock that will perform in the moisture, perform in the slick.
Why don't you give us a phone number and a website, Facebook, whatever you got as far as that goes?
Our phone number is 620-326-3152. That's the shop, Mondays through Friday, 8 to 5. We're off an hour for lunch. My cell number is 620-399-0323. If you got questions, you can call that. If you got shock questions, call that, tech questions. Our Facebook page, J. Neal or BSB, and we do a deal on there we call Drivers Meeting. And if we post Drivers Meetings, it's open for questions. So just start firing messages off. If you got questions, ask them. And of course, our website, bsbgofast.com. So if you need help, that's what we're here for. Call and ask for me or Delbert, and we'll get you all the help you need.
Neal, thanks for talking with us, buddy. And I know I'll see you down the road somewhere.
All right, good talking to you. Thanks a lot.
We have got a racing legend here. We got C. Ray Hall, owner, promoter, whatever, of 81 Speedway, plus NCRA kind of falls under your banner. I mean, is there anything else we should know about besides those two?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm very fortunate that I get to do a lot of things like the Belleville High Banks at Kansas State Fairground. I get to do a lot of county fairs. Don't do as many county fairs as we used to. We used to go to Liberal, Beaver, and a lot of them. And racing changed a little bit, and so have we. And so we kind of brought it back a little more. And over the years, and the guys that started NCRA have unfortunately passed away, a lot of them, and got out, and so that's become my sole responsibility. And so between the time I do be responsible for them and 81 and the other 25, it's a full-time deal.
I think this past year, I don't know how it was for you guys all around, but I know a lot of the tracks that I went to, it seemed like car counts were down, crowds were smaller. Did you guys experience any of that?
Well, the car count seemed like it stabled out a little bit this year. We've went through quite a transition here in Wichita with the aircraft and stuff like that. And so, you know, unfortunately, the days of big B feature divisions and stuff like that, there just not a lot of them. And I think the race people have kind of changed. You know, nobody wants to go out and pay the dues and run 10th and 15th every week. So they kind of look for another opportunity where they can be a little more competitive. And so that's kind of changed things. And then I was had the privilege of hooking up with a new Ford dealership here in Wichita, a different one than I'd been with for all the years with Mel Hamilton Ford, and it seemed like that partnering up with them got me an opportunity to reach a lot of new people.
Yeah. I was going to say, that sponsorship, man, it can make or break you. And that's a problem with a lot of racers. It seems like it breaks them because there's just not as much sponsorship money out there as it used to be for them. But it sounds like for you guys it's worked out really well. How about this year? I know you just said there a minute ago that sometimes you like to give people a little change of pace. What are we going to see at 81 Speedway this year for a change of pace?
Well, you know, back to your other previous question here, you know, there is still a lot of sponsor money out there. You can't go get the $5,000 sponsors, but there's a whole bunch of $500 ones out there. And I think our sport is lacked in for a lot of years of not spending enough time trying to be responsible. You know, we all have to have the phones, we all have to pay the electric bill and everything like that, but we all think we can go run a racetrack the day of the event. And that was one of the things when I decided I was going to promote racing that I told myself and told the family. I said, you know what, if I go give this thing 40 hours a week, there's no way I cannot make my wages. And that was the mentality I had, and we've been able to find a lot of good sponsors over the years.
It's like I say, it certainly helps out. What about these special events, or what do you got coming up for us?
I don't think the race fans, everybody likes stock cars, everybody doesn't like sprint cars. And so, you know, it's kind of like big cars, little cars, bright colors, dark colors. So I think I've been very fortunate to have a lot of different types of cars available to me here. And so I'd rather have a group of you that only come to the Speedway 6 times a year or 4, and somebody else to come 10 or 12 and not depend on one small group of people. So that's kind of been my philosophy, and so because of that I try to bring in some open wheel shows, some stock car shows, anything I can, we're going to bring it in here. For the person that's not really a spectator, or a true race fan, if he comes out and sees 2 or 3 divisions of stock cars and then sees 2 or 3 divisions of modified, and then all of a sudden here comes a sprint car that looks lots faster, it gives them something different to view. But when we book a show of a sprint car special or something like that, I can't have 10 cars. Now I got to have 20, 25, 30, whatever it may be. So I can't fool the fans, and we're not going to try to. But for the weekly show, you know, it's fun to have something just a little bit different, just change the monotony of the program.
Exactly. I come down for the Mars. To me, that's a good series. Can't beat Mars late models. They put on a good show. But I have yet to beat 81 Speedway and not see a good show. Well, see, Ray, I appreciate you talking with us, buddy. Like I say, a legend in the sport.
You're watching Night at the Track. We'll be right back after these messages. Hi, I'm Doug Thompson on behalf of the Kansas Auto Racing Museum in Chapman. There's a lot to see at the 15-acre racing complex. Did you know the first NHRA event was held in Great Bend in 1955? We have the original film footage, original correspondence between Sunflower Club for Great Bend and the NHRA. We even have the first NHRA trophy. Come visit us Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and be sure to bring the family. Relive racing memories of the past. Experience a celebration of speed that continues in racing today at the Kansas Auto Racing Museum.
A creative experience unlike any other is waiting for you at Hobby Lobby. Arts and crafts, fabric, scrapbooking, floral, home accents, and so much more. Come and explore Hobby Lobby and find more than you could have ever imagined. Inspiration, innovation, and creation all in one place. Everything you need to bring your creativity to life is here at Hobby Lobby.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Petty of the Grassroots Racing Show. You know, anytime I look to build a new race car, I look for a chassis builder who has his own design, builds a fast and safe race car, and stocks those hard-to-find racing parts. Can answer my chassis setup questions and is available to repair my race car if need be. Well, Belleville Motorsports meets all my demands with winning race cars, parts, and full service at a fair price. That's Belleville Motorsports for all your racing needs.
Buckle up and hold on. At our church, we love God. Make no mistake about that. At our church, we believe in God's radical, unconditional, and unwavering love for us. At our church, we believe that Jesus is God. We also affirm that you may or may not believe that Jesus is God, and we're not asking you to change your belief system before you attend our church. We're simply inviting you on a journey toward Jesus.
This is Scotty Anderson, and you're watching my favorite show, Grassroots Racing.
Welcome back to the Grassroots Racing Show. Hope you've enjoyed the interviews from the 28th Annual Kansas Racers Auction and Trade Show at Wichita. Our thanks to Mike Kraft and to my brother Roger Thompson. Next week we're going to bring you racing action from Springfield, so stay tuned.